Right. Okay, raise your hand if you program in C. Anybody? Must be some C programmers in the audience. Raise your hands. Right. Raise your hands if you've needed a child process. Okay. Raise your hands if you've ever wanted to do it like this. System, P open. Right. How about if you wanted to be dynamic? Do you do something like this? What's wrong with that? Okay. So most of the programs that do this kind of thing, they need some of the arguments to be dynamic. And what happens if one of them is a semicolon, or it's got an ampersand in it, or a backtick? You can go around and you can manually escape everything, but it sucks. It's error prone, and you get vulnerabilities all the time. Case will hit you. So higher level languages have solutions to it. You've got, which some people even use. You've got subprocess call in Python. You can do list syntax in Perl. I think Ruby even has a system call that takes a list. The C standard library, not so much. The only safe way you can do this in plain C is to do something like this. Use fork and execve directly. And I've left out most of the error handling in this as well. Nobody wants to do this by hand. It sucks. Takes screenfuls of code. It gets worse if you want to do something that's actually hard. Are you sure you got all the signal handling right? What if you want to take some of the output from one child, filter it, pass it to another one? It's a complete pain. So I've just released a new library called libpipeline. This is the answer to all your problems. This is how you write move source test. Create pipeline, pass in the arguments separately, and run it. Get the status back. Here's how to write. Here's how to write popen and read some lines from it. You create a pipeline, grep pattern file name, say that you want the output from it, start it, iterate over the lines, free it when you're done. This is from the Python standard library documentation subprocess to create a sequence of pipelines that goes dmessage, pipe, grep, HCA. This is what it looks like with libpipeline. It's about the same length, considering that it's C versus Python. You create a pipeline, you add a command to it, you add another command to it, you start it, and then you read stuff from it. It's a little bit more verbose in Python, but it's C, come on. This is fine. It saves you from having to write insecure horrors with popen or spending the rest of your life messing around with fork and execve. So why not use glib or qt for this? Sorry, Qt. There's the docs to save you looking for them if you care. Those are fine at spawning single processes. It's really hard to set up pipelines with those. You have to fiddle about with the file descriptors. It's a mess. glib spawn doesn't use var args, so it's really verbose. At least in Qt, you can use C++ left shift. There are also pretty large dependencies if you aren't using them already. libglib is getting on for a megabyte. Qt core is 2.5 megabytes. libpipeline's 46K. If you don't need most of the other things, this is worth thinking about. libpipeline's better at the job it does. You want to run some commands in sequence, so like pipe between them. You want a C function as one of the things in your pipeline, and libpipeline gives you all of those. So if you aren't already using glib and Qt to do subprocess handling for some other reason, then you should use libpipeline. It's better and more flexible. Here's the upstream website. It's in a PPA for Lucid and Maverick, and it should be in Natty in the not-so-distant future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Robert Cartano. I work with Stack Exchange, and we're here to talk about askubuntu.com. There is a session tonight to talk about it more in detail, but developers here, anyone who's ever used Stack Overflow, it's essentially the same thing. It's a Q&A site to get help and answers for Ubuntu. And George is...
So this all started for me when Brad and Pete Craner came out to me at the last UDS. They're like, is there any way for you to delete the internet? And I said, no. Why do you ask? He's like, well, there's a whole bunch of information out there that's either in closed threads or in old mailing list posts that's hitting the top of Google search engines, and there's no way for us to go back and get rid of the junk. So this is askubuntu.com. It's like a turbocharged version of Launchpad Answers. And I'm going to go ahead and give you some examples of some questions here that we've been able to use in order to give better support for users. So I saw screenshots in Unity of people having multiple workspaces. I didn't know how to do it. So I posted this question, and I got 9 votes. You guys see the little 9 there? So it kind of uses a dig type voting system to get good questions and good answers up. This person over here gave me the answer right away. Notice I don't have to care about people caring about whether they like Unity or not, because the commenting system, the system is designed for people not to be able to have conversations. The comments themselves are basically meta. So instead of you having to get to the 56th message in a mailing list thread where the person actually has a solution, this goes more in of a wiki mentality. So you edit your question, you edit your answer. So by the time Chris House Rogers gets to an X site, I've already gone in there and left a comment, hey, post these logs and stuff. He doesn't have to wade through all the garbage, and that's what it's all about. To give you a better idea of what I mean, oops, wrong. Take a wiki, dig, forums, and a blog, and we're that spot right there. So, users use this system based on tags. So I'm going to give you an example of a tag that we're using here. So here's a security tag. And as you see here, I can look at the top users. And immediately you're going to see people you recognize, like Case Cook, Scott Ritchie. I purposely got Ubuntu developers involved as much early as possible because a bunch of you have root on everyone's machines who do Ubuntu. So you can participate early, you get a little bit of reputation. And then after that, you can participate just by upvoting the good stuff and downvoting the junk. There's no really ways to game the system. When you downvote someone who has wrong information, you give up a little bit of your reputation as well. So here are some of our users here, and some of these are very familiar names here. The site also encourages people to do the right things by giving them badges. So if you flag a post for being wrong, you're the Citizen Patrol. Voted 300 times, civic duty. I'm currently trying to get copy editor, which means I went in there and I edited 600 entries, and it's a good way to motivate people. I know Case is really stacked about finally earning his first badge. He's kind of a noob. How much time? Minute 34. So a lot of people have been asking me, so this is really great, I think it's amazing, but why aren't we just fixing Launchpad answers, and why are we using a service that's hosted by someone else? This isn't really open source. And this is where I want to nail 2 angry birds with 1 stone. If you can't read that number for Stack Overflow, that is 378,000 developers who are passionate about their craft. 49,000 power users, the kind of person that's willing to try Ubuntu first. 39,000 system administrators. We are doing this because we want to integrate with a larger community. And we want to set the example that Ubuntu is not just yet another Linux distro. We're passionate about what we want to do. And the way I'm going to help solve Evan and MPT's problem about development is I am on a mission to get 378,000 people to care about developing on our platform. So what's your solution going to be? So while we're moving that way, we're also going to be offering our users a great level of support. So it really is 2 birds with 1 stone. Is there anything else that you want to add?
Nope, that pretty much covers it.
Okay, thank you. So remember, while you guys in here are creating that great developer application platform, those of you watching this streaming video, think about your developer friends who might not have understand what Ubuntu is. That's why we're doing this. We're going to be part of another larger community.
Plug our session tonight.
Yeah, and there's a session, the last one before the summary. Thank you, I'm done.
You can probably need to hold it. All right, here we go. So I want to demo Ubuntu in the cloud, the Cloud 10 effort we put together for the 10.10 release. This is how easy it is. I am at 10.cloud.ubuntu.com, and if you haven't already done this, I recommend you try it as soon as you get a chance. I'm going to click try Ubuntu 10.10 in the cloud. I was already logged in over OpenID. I probably should have cleared that cookie and did that again. But I'm going to select the 10.10 base install. I'm going to launch Byobu at login, and I'm going to agree to the terms of service. I'm going to click launch. And we are now just waiting for Amazon to service this request. And we've got this little animation that's going to refresh eventually, hopefully within the next 30 seconds or so. We're going to be running an instance in the cloud. After I've got that up, the server team, particularly Scott Moser and Clint Byram, helped put together a demonstration web application. So we're going to try to get everyone to hit that IP as soon as it's up and see if we can bring it down. That's what we do in Lightning Talks, right? We try to break things.
We can bring it down, right? We can do this.
I think so. Well, okay. Dance. All right, here we go. All right, so that is the IP address. It's not quite going to be ready yet. I need to SSH into the system and to make this as idiot-proof as possible. We set up a shell script to take care of that for us. I've got 5 minutes here. Look, we've got to go out to the archive, download this stuff, unpack, set it up, then we've got to configure Django, get the application running, load the database. What do you expect here? No, I don't think so. Hopefully, earns his respect afterward. All right, so that is up and running. So this is your IP address. If you're on the Wi-Fi right now, try going to 50.16.8.254. You're going to go through Launchpad, OpenID auth, and that is going to probably be the weak point in this entire operation, everyone hitting Launchpad simultaneously. 2 minutes left. I think I can do it. What, log mine in first? Probably. Show top on the instance. A little bit of lag. The load is at 10. This is an M1 small. Don't do that. Okay, hold on. Got another hack. Load is spiraling out of control. How much time do I have left, George?
1 minute.
Can I do this? I don't know. Probably not.
Keep going. Don't give up.
This isn't coming back, is it? It'll be a lot easier if this just works. Maybe so. Well, you have succeeded to making the load go to 28, so I'll give you a thumbs up for that. That's all I can do.
Okay. Just get back in line and we'll try it again.
Okay.
Aurelian. Even her disappointments are amazing, aren't they? Load of 28. Come on. tick, tick.
to be about QML, which is the best thing since sliced bread when you have power. And there we go. Come on, stupid thing. Configure. Yeah, and it's probably going to break a little more. So, how many times have I wasted? Oh, okay. Great. Okay, so QML is based on Qt Creator, which is the latest ADI IDE from Qt. So, how does it look? Let's create a Qt Quick application. We are going to put this here. Okay, finish. There we go. Hello world, wonderful. So in case this is a bit smaller, I can increase pixel size to, let's say, 24, and it's bigger. Nice. So QML is both a language, here, as you can see, which can be used either as standalone, like running updated at runtime without any C++ code, and can also be embedded inside C++ application. Let's make this a bit more interactive. So I'm going to put a mouse area which will fill the parent, and we are going to turn this thing a bit opaque, a bit transparent, sorry, whenever I click on it. See. 8, go, and then, ooh, shiny. Yay! So, if you let the developer do some QML for a night before he presents stuff, then you get shiny stuff like that. Maybe we can have a look at the code for this. So here we have a text which says UDS, another one which says NATI, and here a block which shows the canonical thing, and just a second sort of animation over there for the necessary goodness, which is so. It's all in real time, as in I can press F5 and just update the thing. So whenever I decide that, for example, I want this animation, never mind. This is going to, I'm used to it. Who broke Power Devil in Maverick? Do we have power here? We have still more than 1 minute. Should be good to go. Now, okay, we are back with power. Everything is fine. So let's say I want to be faster. 5, and this is, yeah, well, we don't see it here. Let's change the string, yeah. So let's say, yes, this way, just press, no, not this one, not this one either. Ah, I'm lost. Oh, I quit. Okay, so you just. Okay, and what do you get if you ask a developer, sorry, without design knowledge to do a demo like 1 day before? Then cheesy things like this. Yeah. I think we're done.
Next. I think we got more Qt Creator coming, don't we?
Hey, so I'm sure you all know Michael. My name's Matthew. We work on Software Center. We just want to show off a feature we will land this cycle that we're pretty excited about, which is ratings and reviews. So we got a bit of a demo. Have to say that QML was pretty cool, so kind of feel a bit silly going after them, but GDK.
All right, so we like ratings and reviews a lot, and we want to land ratings and reviews this cycle. And because we like it so much, we decided that we actually, just spend a little bit of time implementing a client UI so that we have a real incentive to make a great server. So this is not touching the network at all, but it's a nice UI. So let's see. So
Stars.
Exactly. And we got more stars. Pardon? Hold on. I don't know. My mouse is gone.
So anyway,
Thank you
we'll
very
be able
much.
to display.
All right, and we have more reviews, we have stars, we have shiny UI, and
Awesome text.
awesome text as well. Yeah. So we have 3 different modes currently. You can have fortune, you can have the Latin lorem ipsum stuff, and stuff we totally made up. So the next thing we want to have is like the real ratings and reviews. And of course you can review an application, give it stars, enter text. This is all real. It logs you into Ubuntu SSO, and if you click publish, it would talk to a server that is just not here yet. And you can report a review as inappropriate if, for some reason somebody posted a bug or just wrote silly stuff.
And we've also, not that we're able to show it here, but we've worked on some speed improvements, so hopefully that should make it as well, which should be a good thing.
Oh, sorry. When does it land? The server or the client? Well,
Should be this-
Plenary, I mean,
Yeah.
and we want to have it by Christmas. It's not a commitment, it's just, yeah, we want to have it early. And we also will ask for a backport for Maverick and get, but we need TechBot approval, I guess. But yeah, we will want to have this for Maverick as well if possible. This may not be the final UI. I mean, this is loosely based on what MPT spec'd, but there may be changes, but I guess it will be close. That's it.
Thank you.
Next is Ryan Paul, who writes the open-ended column at arstechnica.com and is the author of Gwibber.
All right, so you just saw the demo before that one was a nice QML demo. You saw how easy it is to make animations and nice little visual effects with QML. So I'm going to put it in a little more context and show what a real-world QML application looks like. Assuming I can get my netbook working here, Unity stops crashing.
Neil, help.
Did that work? Come on. That's the app I wanted to show, but okay, here we go. Let's see if I can. Okay, so what you're looking at here is an RTorrent front end. It's basically an interface to a remote instance of the RTorrent BitTorrent client, and this user interface is built entirely with QML. So one of the advantages of QML is you get nice animated transitions. So you can resume that download there. All right, so the network here is a little slow, so the download's going to crawl, but you get the idea. So now I'm going to show you one of the nicer effects in this application. Okay, so that effect, that's about maybe 5 or 10 lines of declarative syntax in QML. It is trivially easy to do those kinds of visual effects in a QML application. It just works. I mean, they have a high-level element called flippable, and you tell it what you want on the front, you tell it what you want on the back, and then you tell it how to spin. It's really that easy. The whole toolkit is designed to facilitate this kind of user experience. So, yes, it is also touch-friendly. So you can see from the user interface. I'll show a better example later, but it does have kinetic scrolling. All right, so that's this demo. I'm going to show you another application now. This is a simple stock market application. It's pulling data from Yahoo. So one of the advantages of QML is you can bind a data model to a front end, to a QML front end. So what you're looking at here is a data model that's bound to a tree view. But now we can switch into QML mode. You can see a nice user interface with kinetic scrolling and custom art. So I built this in an afternoon. It's so easy to do these kinds of user interfaces with QML. So now I have one more I want to show. This is a prototype Twitter client. It connects to the real-time streaming API, and it will show animations when the messages slide in. So right now, it's just doing a query for the word Linux. So any message with the word Linux will slide into this as it's posted. So this is kind of where we would like to go for future versions of Gwibber, obviously. But GTK obviously has a lot of limitations. So I mean, QML makes it so easy to achieve these kinds of visual effects and rich user interfaces.
How long did this take you, Gwibber and Qt?
This short demo, this took me about 2 hours to make. Connecting to the real-time streaming API, consuming the JSON blobs, and putting it into a nice user interface. And I stole some of the graphics here from Daniel. So he helped me with the art. And it was really just a matter of taking one of his mockups and chopping it up and putting it into the UI. So, I mean, that's another real key advantage of QML, is it makes it easy for a developer to take work that a designer has done to create, a mockup or a wireframe, and then turn it into an application in very little time. Okay. That's all I really wanted to show.
Next.
Hi there, I'm Harold, and this is Rohan. We're both working on Kubuntu, and we want to tell you about Project Neon, which is totally kick-ass. And it's blinking. Actually, I'm just here for decoration, so do not expect me to say anything.
Hi, I'm Rohan. This is my first UDS, and I wanted to preview this Project Neon. It's basically a daily build of KDE using the Launchpad recipes, which is a cool new feature in Launchpad. That is actually Project Neon running. I just need to switch it. Yep. So you can see the platform version right there. That's 4.5.73. And that's the latest KDE trunk build. The latest KDE trunk build is available from our PPA. That's our Project Neon PPA. You can probably see some failed failures. I'm working on those. So we have the latest version of Qt imported from Git, and the latest version of KDE libs from SVN. And we have our own packaging branches in Bazaar, and we use Launchpad recipes and make those and nest those two branches in each other and put it in the PPA. So the PPA builds those packages for us, and we can easily install them. Now, really good thing about this is that the Project Neon, it's installed in /opt/Project Neon. So it's a completely sandboxed build. So you can have your Project Neon build alongside your stable KDE build. I'll just show you that as well.
One of the important things that needs to be stressed, the whole thing is done using Launchpad, right? So you have the source import, you have the recipes that's building the source package, and then you have the actual building in PPAs. So let's hear it for Launchpad.
We just wanted to have a bit of blinking, right, so you didn't fall asleep. It's totally intentional.
Well, I have two X servers running, but it's blinking so much. I have two X servers running. One is running Project Neon, and on the other X server, I have the stable KD build. I just wanted to show you both of them as side by side, but since it's not working, well, any questions?
You know, as our Kwin developer would put it, it's a driver bug.
We have time for questions.
Everything's
We got
a
2
driver.
minutes.
Any questions?
He was wondering if you're going to do the daily builds for GNOME 3.
Nope.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Now here comes the sweet taste of redemption. Dustin's going to come back and we're going to make this work.
All right, we had to take OpenID out of the picture. That just wasn't working with everyone at the same time. So scalability issues there. So hit this IP 50.16.8.254. And this is hosted off of... served off of Ubuntu in the cloud.
Thank you. Okay, great. Time for the group photo. Remember, it's going to be outside by where the shuttles are. Please try to make your way as safely and quickly as possible as you can. Do not trample anybody, please.